Josh McDaniels has joined us. We're going to start with Karen Garrigan, followed by Mike Giardi.
Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good, Karen. How are you doing?
Good. I was just curious. Cam Newton started off the season pretty well, and he's kind of hit a rut. Can you put a finger on what you're seeing with him and what perhaps might be wrong with his play?
I think there's a lot of things that go into having success, at that position. Certainly there's things that we need to do better. Passing the ball in the National Football League and having a lot of success starts, with fundamentals, footwork, technique, doing the little things right relative to, moving in the pocket and putting yourself in a good position to throw. And then obviously we got to do things right on the other end too. So, pass protection always plays a part in that. Route running, ability to, read and be on the same page with the skill players. So there's no shortcut to this. Certainly nobody is happy. It's my responsibility and I'm accountable to that. And we're going to work as hard as we can to try to make improvements every day in practice. I know Cam will. He's dedicated to doing that. I know our whole group is. So nobody's content with what we've been able to do recently, and we know we have to make a lot of progress quickly, and be hard at work doing that this week.
Is it in your mind, whatever the collective issues are with Cam, is it fixable and how quickly?
Sure. I think you can improve in everything in our game. It takes hard work. There's no shortcut to it. But look, we need to get better fast. We need to be better this week, and that's the plan. That's the goal.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
Next question, Mike Giardi, followed by Alan Siegel.
Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Cam yesterday when he was talking, he mentioned thinking and maybe thinking too much. And when I think thinking too much, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking that maybe he's not seeing it as well as he wants to see it. How do you, as a coach, help a player who obviously you can't be on the field with right next to saying, see that, or that guy's open? How do you get that process sped up and get him comfortable?
I think it starts with doing the things that he's comfortable with, and then working those things in practice so that you end up in a place with the entire unit and the entire group. And in this particular case, the people that are really working together to make it go, so that they can get comfortable with one another, and improve. And so, again, I don't think there's any shortcut to this. I think there's certainly things that we saw on the film that, those are good things that we saw on the practice field last week. And so I think the goal is let's, if we practice a little sharper, a little crisper each day of the week, and we have more success as we go through the season in practice and then transfer those to the games. That's always been the formula, regardless of who the receivers are, who the quarterback is, who the tight ends and backs are, who's blocking for him up front. You have to do it in practice. And Bill has always told us that, practice execution becomes game reality. And for us, I think there's a lot of urgency for us to be able to see that this week and then transfer that into the game.
He's made, I think it's 40 throws in the last 2 weeks. And there's sort of a weird statistical anomaly. He didn't throw any balls to the right side this week. It was 3 the last week. Is that just, I don't even know. It struck me as odd, but I don't know if I have a question. How do you view that?
Yeah, sometimes I think, maybe more coincidence than planning. Again, relative to being right-handed, left-handed in the formationing, setting the protection certain ways could certainly impact where the ball ends up going. There's certainly no intent on just, putting the ball in a certain spot on the field. So we were aware of that, and we'll make sure that we do the right things. I think this most important thing is to do the right thing based on the team you're playing and the matchups you have. And And we'll see how that all plays out this week.
Next question, Alan Siegel, followed by Ben Volen.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
I asked Bill yesterday about reading the field in general, and he talked about the fact that there are some some plays that you have where a quarterback has to hold on to the ball longer, that certain pass routes, develop longer, so he has to hold on to it longer. So I'm wondering, in some of the things that you've mentioned so far this morning, as an offensive coordinator, in terms of helping Cam read the field and make better decisions, are there things you can do to the pass routes to adjust and make them easier for Cam to be able to connect with his receivers?
That's certainly a goal of mine. I think sometimes it's easier to say it than it is to do it. Ultimately, we try to do that with each play that we call, give them opportunities to be successful. It doesn't always work that way. And again, I can do a better job of that. But the timing of the passing game, whether it's a quick throw you're calling or you're trying to add time to the protection by adding more bodies in the protection to allow routes to separate and get down the field. Those things, are choices that you have to make based on, what you're trying to accomplish on each play during that situation. So there was times the other night where, like I said, we added time to the protection and we did a really good job of getting down the field. We caught some throws in that intermediate area down the field. And again, part of that is the protection did a good job of holding up and giving us a chance. So, we have to be able to throw it quick. We have to be able to throw it, with extra protection and add time to it so that we don't become too predictable, obviously, in where we're going with the ball. And no matter what it is we call, it's my job to try to put them in a place to be successful, and I got to do a better job of that.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
Next question, Ben Volen, followed by Matt Vautour.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Ben.
Last couple of weeks, obviously, the offense hasn't gone as well as you guys had hoped. You guys certainly have hit a patch of turmoil earlier this year, a lot of upheaval. Now trying to get back into a sense of normalcy. As you get back to the practice field this week, open-ended question for you. What's just like the number one thing you want to accomplish as you get back to the practice field?
You want to take every opportunity to improve. I think that's the biggest thing for us on the practice field is when you start stringing together days of practice. It's not okay to just go out there and just be on the grass. You got to make progress and you got to produce results that are the types of results you want to see on Sunday during the game. So we have a strong urgency right now to really focus in on this opponent. We got a really good team that we're playing on Sunday, a really good defense that we're familiar with because we played them a lot. But getting used to those guys, getting really refamiliar with some of the players that we don't know on this defense, so we can go out there on the field, play fast, be aggressive on the practice field, and again, be productive. I think that's the big key for us. Doesn't matter if it's an individual period, a group period, a 7-on-7, a 1-on-1, or a team drill. What you want to do is you go out there and make progress and improve as an individual and as a group. And so we've talked a lot about that. And like I said, we're really committed to trying to make practice execution turn into game reality on Sunday and see some of that progress show up in the game against Buffalo.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh.
Yep.
Next question, Tom Curran, followed by Mike Reese.
You jumped me.
Sorry, Matt, I'll come back to you.
Matt. Hey, Josh. I'm wondering, you talk sometimes about being able to get enough evidence from something to figure out whether it's working or not. And because of the turnovers and the kind of the shorter drives the last couple of weeks, are you getting enough information during these games to figure out whether or not the scheme's working? I mean, in terms of, do we keep doing this or is it not working? We have to do something else.
I think there's certainly things that we feel, confident that we've done well most of the year. I mean, we've been able to produce in the running game most every game that we've been out there, and we've had our moments in the passing game. I think when you turn the ball over the way that we have, obviously it's the number one goal for us moving forward that we start to prevent doing that, so that we can contribute to winning and help our team in the other two phases as well and play complementary football. But I think when you do that, I think you have to be careful about rushing to judgment and saying that, well, let's throw everything out and start from scratch, because until we go out there and execute it, properly and do the right thing on a consistent basis, it's hard to judge some of those things. And so I think you got to be careful, in terms of making a quick decision on those. Some things are easy to see that might not be our cup of tea, but other things that we've seen evidence in practice that we can do and that we've done well in the past, I think you have to stay committed to it and then try to focus on improving the execution. And that's really what I'm focused on this week, is trying to get, everything that we do, I'm trying to tighten up the execution so that we can go out there and do it well on Sunday against Buffalo.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Sorry about that. We're going to go back to Matt Vautour, then Mike Reese.
Josh, for the chunk of time that Cam missed, is it hard to keep mechanics and keep footwork sort of the precision that he would need it to be at when you're missing that kind of time? And does it look to you like his footwork and his mechanics as a whole are back where they should be, and has that contributed a little bit to some of his accuracy issues?
I think that's a never-ending process. Quarterback mechanics are like a golf swing, and if you take a little time away, or if you're unable to work at it for a little bit, certainly it could impact you. And so I think, getting back to practice and good habits and good routines on the practice field and working the drills that we work, I would hope that would definitely help any player, regardless of the position. And I would also say, like I said before, that, the passing game is an 11-person, product. And, certainly the quarterback plays a huge role in that. But there's a lot of other people that have an impact in whether or not we have success. And, we can all do things better that we haven't done as well as we need to. And we're going to work on those. And I know Cam Newton is going to work on everything that he needs to work on to continue to be a productive part of our offense.
Well, with him specifically in this specific time, has that been a focus to try to get him back to where he is? Has that area been something that has been a priority to try to get him back going?
We focus on that every day. I mean, every day that we're at practice, we focus on footwork, throwing mechanics, movement in the pocket, all of those things that are required of the quarterback in order to be continuously accurate. We work on those each day. We do drills, we have group work, we do work on the side during special teams periods. So there's an inordinate amount of work that is required and demanded of that position, so that you can be consistent with your fundamentals, because we know that throwing the ball accurately and throwing it well in this league consistently is going to require good fundamentals from any quarterback.
Thanks.
You got it.
We want to fly here, Josh, or you think you got time for one more? I don't want to hold you guys up.
I got time for one more.
All right. Unbelievable residence in engagement story there on the Patriots piece. I wanted to tell you, I thought that was awesome. And I did want to ask you about Buffalo.
Yep.
You mentioned a team that you're familiar with, but obviously, different pieces at times. Tell me what challenges they present to you this week.
Yep. Thank you, Michael, for saying that. That was fun. Those were the days back there where you could get engaged with a fake ring. Buffalo is, this is a team we know pretty good. I'd say the first thing about them is I'm always impressed with how well they're coached. Coach Frazier, Coach McDermott do an incredible job. Their whole staff does. When you turn on the tape of this team, they play hard on every snap. They are very well organized. They're rarely, if ever, out of position. They communicate well. They disguise well. They make almost everything in their defense look the same, which is a tribute to the way that they work and how they've set up their defense. They challenge you on all 3 downs. They're disruptive up front. They got a lot of people that play, and they move them in and out, and they're disruptive in the front 7. Their linebackers are good players. And we've gotten really to know Edmonds and Milano recently, and we've played against Klein before, but these guys are disruptive. They can run through in the running game. They're good blitzers. They cover really well. I'm not sure if we play cover linebackers that are better than these guys as a group. And then their secondary is very opportunistic. They do a really good job of communicating and hiding the shell and holding rotations. They're good blitzers, and they all catch the ball if you make a mistake. So, we've long admired the way they play and how hard it is to be good against this group. They don't give up big plays, and they make you drive the football. And you're going to need to be disciplined and consistent with your execution in order to do that, because they're not going to give it up in 3 plays. So we're going to need a great week of practice. We're going to need to really get familiar with the style that they use and what they do, and be ready to handle the challenges that they present on Sunday.